This is the exact framework that I use to scale my own agency from 0 to 25K a month in 6 months. Every single step of the process is in this Miro document. It consists of 4 main parts. That is number 1, mapping out your current situation. That is number 2, setting goals. That is number 3, figuring out actionable KPIs based on those goals. And then number 4, figuring out which inputs are required to reach your goals and setting up the tracking systems to make sure that you actually do those things. So let's start with your current situation. The first and the most important part of your current situation are your finances. You need to, number 1, know what kind of profits you are working with, and number 2, your expenses and or your margin, and number 3, your revenue. If you don't have control of these 3 super basic financial metrics in your agency, you are struggling. I really recommend that you get a budget sheet like this. This is the one I use at my own agency. If you want access to this one and all the other resources and links that I will be referring to in this video, DM me on Instagram and I'll send over a care package with all the relevant links. But as I said, I really recommend you to be tracking this stuff every single month. So once you have figured out your current profit, your current margin, and your current revenue, we need to figure out what kind of acquisition you are doing right now. So I'm guessing that you are doing some type of outreach, some type of personal brand building. Again, write it all down. How many outreaches per day are you getting? How many people are picking up? Let's say you're cold calling. How many of the people that you call are actually picking up? How many times are you getting through to the decision maker? How many decision makers are you pitching? You need as much data as possible about your acquisition right now. Next, how many meetings are you booking? Of course, this is a very important KPI. And lastly, how many new clients are you closing per month? You need extreme clarity in your current agency. What's working, what's not, what should you do more of, what new things should you implement. Once we have all of these written down, we need to figure out where we are going, our goals. So again, let's start with the financial goals. What kind of profit do you want to be at per month? This is kind of arbitrary. There is no right or wrong answer. I want you to be ambitious, but I don't want you to say $400,000 a month in 3 months, because that's not really reasonable. And maybe it is possible to reach that number, but you're never going to build a sustainable business growing that fast. So a good number is always 25K a month. It's not too crazy, but it is ambitious at a 75% margin, which gives you a required revenue of $33,333 a month. This is a solid start. So let's say that this is your goal. You can choose your own, but I will use 25K a month as profit as an example in this video. Out of this, we need to figure out some actionable KPIs, because the goal is fine. It's a nice number. It looks cool, but it doesn't actually tell you much about what your agency should look like in order to reach that goal. So we need some, as I said, actionable KPIs, key performance indicators. And on the financial side, that is average profit per client per month. That is your margin, and that is your average revenue per client per month. So let's say we want to be running at a 75% margin and we want to have as few clients as possible. A good number here is then to have a $7,000 average revenue per client per month. And as I said, at a 75% margin, that gives us $5,200 a month of profit per client that you sign. This means that to get to $33,333 in revenue at 7K per client, you need 4.76 clients. But let's round it up to 5 clients, and it's already looking a lot better than you would have thought, right? You only need 5 clients and you will be making close to $300,000 a year in profit. But now it's all about actually getting those clients and actually fulfilling for those clients. And this is where the inputs required comes in. Here it is important for you to understand that an agency only consists of 3 parts. You have the acquisition, you have the fulfillment, and you have the operations. Acquisition is, of course, the most crucial, the most fundamental part of your agency when you are starting out, because you can't really be fulfilling if you don't have any clients. So it's important for us to get clients. And how do we do that? Well, we do that through outreach, through contacting people, through booking in meetings that way. And It's easy to say, go do outreach, but what kind of outreach should you be doing? How many outreaches per day should you be doing? What kind of numbers should you expect? And for that, I've put together this little pyramid. So let's say you want to get to $33,333 a month in revenue in 2 months, in 60 days. That means that you need to get 3 new clients a month at $7K a month each. And notice how I said 3 new clients a month. We started with 4.76, rounded it up to 5, and now we are running it up to 6. Always do that when setting goals. Always round up and overshoot your goal so that if you undershoot it, you are still at where you want to be. So let's say you need to get 3 new clients a month at $7K a month each. If you have a 20% close rate from discovery call to actual close client, which is not too good, not too bad, that means that you need 15 qualified calls a month in your calendar. Add a 3% ABR, appointment booking rate, which you would, for example, get from Cold Loom. You would get more than 3% from cold calling. You need to do 500 outreaches per month. Divide that by 21 working days a month, because you don't really want to be calling people on Sundays, for example. That is only 24 outreaches per day. If I told you that if you did 24 outreaches per day for 2 months, you would earn $300,000 a year in profit, would you believe me? Maybe not, but if you reverse engineer the numbers, it completely makes sense. So do that, reverse engineer your number and figure out how many outreaches you should be doing per day. But you may be asking, what kind of outreach should I actually be doing? The numbers are all fine and dandy. Well, I recommend that you try everything. Cold calling is still an amazing outreach strategy, so I would start there, begin cold calling. If for some reason it's not working in your market, let's say your market never picks up the phone for some reason, or they don't have phone numbers because they're super old, whatever. If it's not working, go over to cold email, and if cold email is not working, do DMs. But I want to preface this by saying that I've never in my life encountered an outreach method that completely doesn't work. It's more about which one works better, where should you spend your time to get the maximum return. But if you are getting completely 0 calls booked from cold calling or 0 calls booked from cold email, you are probably doing something wrong, and it's not the method's fault. So my recommendation to you, choose one of these 3 cold outreach methods, do it for 2 to 3 hours per day for 3 months straight. And at that point, if it's still not working for you, consider switching to something else. I just don't want you to be looking for this next shiny object. Do cold calling for 2 days. Nah, I don't like it. I'm not booking any calls. Do cold email for a week. Nah, I don't like it. Do cold DMs. Stick to one of the methods and you will see a lot more success in your agency. In terms of fulfillment, once you actually begin getting some client, fulfillment consists of 3 parts. You have the actual service delivery, you have client communications, and you have hiring. So for service delivery, it should take you about 2 hours per week per client, which may sound crazy. They are paying you $7K a month and you're only spending 2 hours per week per client. But that is the beauty of running a digital agency, because you get paid based on the results that you generate and not based on the amount of hours that you put in. And that's exactly the reason why I was able to scale my agency to over $50K a month before I hired my first employee. Basically, no other business model allows you to do that. But if your results are good, you don't have to spend a lot of time on each client, which means that if you have 6 clients, you should be spending about 12 hours per week on service delivery. Client communications should take you about an hour per week per client. So that is in total 18 hours a week on 6 clients for the service delivery and the client communications, which is about 3 hours a day. So let's say you are working 9 hours a day, 3 hours of those should go to service delivery, and the other 6 should go to actual acquisition and signing more clients. In terms of hiring, I recommend that once you get to 5K a month, hire a VA, like a $3-5 an hour VA, to outsource super repetitive tasks. At 5K a month, you have enough cash flow to afford that, and your time is better spent on the acquisition or the service delivery part of your agency, not on the admin tasks. And once you get to 25K a month, hire a media buyer. In terms of operations, I don't want to make this more difficult than it's supposed to be. Don't really think too much about operations before you begin approaching like 50K a month. The only type of operations that you have to develop in the beginning phase of your agency are tracking systems, and daily to-do. So now we have figured out how many outreaches we have to do per day, of what kind. How do we actually track it? Well, you need tracking sheets. This is pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. Let me open up one of my tracking sheets. Again, this link to this tracking sheet will be in the care package that you will get if you DM me on Instagram. Looks something like this. This is for sending cold looms, but it can be personalized to any outreach method. Basically, what you do is that every single day that you do some kind of outreach, you track the numbers. So let's say you sent 10 looms, 5 of those were seen, 2 replied positively, 1 booked a meeting, 1 meeting was completed, and this client ended up actually signing at, let's say, 7K a month. Boom, like this. We have tracked that, and then at the end of the month, you can see how many looms you've sent, how many have seen, how many have replied positively, and you will also get percentage drop-offs right here. So how many looms reviewed? 50%, because we sent 10, 5 were seen. So with this sheet, you will have an amazing understanding of how your outreach is doing, and this is something that you should be doing every single day when you are doing outreach. So as I said, reach out to me on Insta. I will send over this document as well. And also you need a daily to-do. So based on what you have found in this inputs required section, figure out exactly what you need to do every single day. Make a to-do out of it and make that to-do repeat every single day. This is what my to-do currently looks like. Every single day I write a LinkedIn post. I spend 30 minutes developing a giveaway for LinkedIn. I spend 30 minutes on acquisition systems, newsletters, landing pages, lead nurturing, all of that stuff. You can read through it, but you get the point. This is stuff that I have been repeating every single day for 2 years now. So every single day of my life for 700 days, I have done this thing over and over and over again. This is the kind of repetition and the kind of commitment that you want to be aiming for in your own agency. So once you have the daily to-do, you just go through it, you track your metrics, and you begin signing new clients. This is much more simple than I originally thought. The business model is not complicated. Yes, it will take time and it will take effort, but actually understanding what to do and signing clients is not a difficult process. So I hope this was valuable, and I hope it gives you some clarity and some certainty in how to develop a roadmap for your own agency. As I said, if you want access to all the links and the resources that I have mentioned in this video, reach out to me on Instagram. I will send you a care package. And if you are a digital agency owner that is stuck between 0 and 8K a month, I am opening up 3 slots to work with me personally, one-on-one, to implement every single one of the frameworks that I used in my own agency to scale to 75K a month. So if that sounds interesting, reach out to me on Instagram. Let's talk about it. Other than that, have an amazing week, and I'll see you at the top.